you, Mayur, for the wonderful introduction and for facilitating this talk. Mayur, you have always been an inspiration to me from more than 2.5 decades. Friends, today I'm going to talk about a topic which is very, very close for entrepreneurs. None of the content is my own. At the very outset, I would give this disclaimer: koi bhi content mera nahi hai. None of the content is my own. Like, if anything was my own, I would have written my book. So initially, I will tell you at the very outset, kahan se content aaya hai. Number one, this talk is inspired by a book called as Blue Ocean Strategy. Blue Ocean Strategy is a book that has inspired a part of this talk. In fact, I strongly recommend every person who is going to be an entrepreneur, look forward to an entrepreneur, to go through, to make a juice out of this book and have it. I'm holding a CD of this book called Blue Ocean Strategy. This talk is also inspired by a book called as Reimagine. Reimagine is a book which has inspired most part of this talk. Other than this Reimagine and Blue Ocean Strategy, I've also taken inputs from Ron Kaufman, who has been an inspiration to my schools about his service mindset. And I've also taken inspiration from Joel Barker, thinkers like Peter Drucker and Steve Case. So all inputs are taken together, put together to make this talk lively. At the end of this talk, I'm going to give you some few takeaways, take home, about 11 of them, which you can immediately put to practice after the talk. So every person attending this talk would get about a few takeaways. Normally there are many, but then in 2 hours time, to not do justice, I've chosen 11 of them to give you. Let me begin this talk with the first slide. This slide also appears to me, also appears on the invitation. If you see the template, there's a number appearing on the template. So the first slide, actually the convener Gracie had asked me, what is that number that appears on the slide? And I told her that that is my first slide. So, how many of us will be able to answer what does this number indicates? कितने लोग यहाँ पर बोल पाएंगे? What does the 6th number mean to any of you? 902230. 902230. 902230. What does this number mean to anyone? Anyone from the audience can make an answer. What does this number mean to any one of you? Anybody? You can raise your hand, and I have some people, facilitating. And if you can raise your hand, then I can take you on the screen, and the number on the screen, 902230. What does this number mean to you?
Sorry, Stanny, no idea. Sorry, no idea, I said.
No idea? Okay. Normally, when the larger audience, people come up and, they say it may be a phone number. Maybe a few years ago, somebody may say that some other count. So people have wild imaginations. I would rather put a second slide to make it more. I'll give some tip. The second slide. Now I've broken this number into 3 parts. Now I think you get the clue as to what this number indicates. Mayur, any guesses?
Just trying. 30 is 3 times 90, which made 22. So
I'll give another clue. Let's come to the topic. My topic of the day.
Okay. So at the age of 30, you work to sustain till 90.
Wonderful. That was very creative of you. So my topic is Kal, Aaj aur Kal. So 1990 is our Kal, Bitawa Kal. 1990.
Oh, okay.
2022 is my today.
Today.
And 2030 is my Aane wala Kal.
Kal.
This Kal, Aaj aur Kal. The 1990, the 2022, and 2030. So today I'm going to cover this 3 decades or 4 decades of our life. Most of us in the audience might have seen 1990. I was a 20-year-old then. So I'll take you back to, back into memory lane of 1980 to 90. Mayurbai, you've also been a witness to this particular decade of 80s to 90. So let's look back, right? I'm coming to the next slide. It says, equipping business leaders under the current scenario. How to win the battle for 2030 and with the right strategies. That's my topic. How to win the battle called 2030. I use the word battle with the right strategies. So today we're going to work on, learn together on what are the right strategies, and whatever I talk are inputs from I give you the disclaimer and what I've been using personally. So insights for the entrepreneur. Let me start with the topic on leadership. Leadership. So what is the definition of leadership? How do you define leadership? So the best definition that I've heard so far is the definition by Joel Barker. So according to Joel Barker, if I ask any one of you, give your answer, who is a leader? Who is a leader? What would be your answer? Anybody can make an attempt. Who is a leader? हम leader किसको बोलते हैं? Anybody raise their hand will be taken on the screen. Let us have an interactive session. Who is the leader? Okay. I would rather. Joel Barker says, leader is a person you will follow to a place you won't go by yourself. I repeat, leader is a person you will follow to go to a place you won't go by yourself. Now here I made a little change and I made a Stanny version of it. The Stanny version says, leader is a person you choose to follow. Leader is a person you will choose to follow to go to a place where you won't go by yourself. We understand the true meaning by the time we have completed the talk. Let's keep the topic in mind. The topic is Kal, Aaj aur Kal. It is for entrepreneurs. It is for the businessmen who are going to start their business in either today or in the coming decade. So what I'm going to talk about is Bhavishya, future. The talk is fully focused on Bhavishya. So on future, if I talk, there's one thing that I firmly believe that comes from a book called Reimagine. It says, uncertainty is the only thing to be sure of. It's an anticlimax. Uncertainty is the only thing to be sure of. I go to the next slide, which says, if you don't like change, you're going to like irrelevance even less. Both these come from the book Reimagine. If you don't like change, अगर आपको बदलना पसंद नहीं है, आपको irrelevance और भी कम पसंद आएगा. In fact, Dr. Tom Peters promotes irrelevance. We all look for relevance things to do. But आने वाले ज़माने में in the coming age, irrelevance is going to be the key word. So he says further, we are all in a brawl. We are all in a fight which has no rules. We are all in a brawl. We are all in a fight which has no rules. I go further to say, all this content is removed from Peter's book called Reimagine. It says there will be more confusion in the business world in the next decade. There will be more confusion in the business world in the next decade than any decade in history. And the current pace of change will only accelerate. I repeat, there will be more confusion in the business world in the next decade and than any other decade in history. And the pace of the change will only accelerate. Badhta jayega. The corporations, as we know now, for the last 60 or 120 years, are not likely to survive for the next 20 years. जो भी बड़े company हैं, whatever we see, big corporations which are existing for the past so many decades, 60 years, 100 years, will not survive for another 20 years. Legally and financially, yes, but not structurally and economically. This is what Peter Drucker says. Why? My next question is why? What is the main reason for me or Peter Drucker making this statement? Let us all contemplate, let us all think, where does this come from? In answer to this, I have one question, which is a $1 million question that you must ask, each one of us must ask ourselves. Who are competing with you nowadays? Who are competing with you nowadays? One slide of the iske baad would answer all that. It says here, who are competing with you nowadays? Large corporations, multinationals, corporations from Japan, Korea, China. We go to the earlier time, let us go to 1990. We would say the big killed the small. बड़ी मच्छी छोटी मच्छी खा जाती थी. The big fish killed the small. The big corporations ate of the small corporations. The bigger businessmen, the bigger entrepreneurs ate of the small entrepreneurs. But that rule is no longer true. Today we say the fast kills the slow. And the mantra for this is catch before others. Catch before others. Whenever in life, if I have been successful, I give this one thing. I was much before others when I succeeded. The bottom line for all of us to learn here is we need to change. We have to change. Now the question is why? Why do we have to change? The answer in the next slide says because everything is changing at a rapid pace. हमारे पास दो ऑप्शन है. Either हम distinct बने या हम extinct होए. Either I become distinct person in my business or I become extinct. Hindi में जो हम will change, it says बदलो या निकलो. Either आप बदलो, the way you're doing business, आप बदलो या निकलो. What I'm going to talk about in my entire talk today is basically showing you yesterday, showing you today, and showing you tomorrow. Before I talk about yesterday and today, let me first go to tomorrow. Let us see future in the next 15 slides. Quickly, 15 slides in the next 1 minute. Let us see the future. Hamara future kaisa dikh raha hai. Here we go, one by one, slowly. These are all images from the future. Let us come to 2030. High-tech world, chip world, automatic electronic banks, which is already in existence, powder-sized cameras, foldable paper TVs, corruption-less world, paperless world, robots controlling most operations, depth of distance, global village, global neighborhood. And whatever I've been talking about, these slides were made about 4 years ago. Half of these things are already in existence. I come back to my earlier slide which says distinct or extinct, badlo ya niklo. Why am I saying badlo ya niklo? I'm going to give 4 examples which says here, if you come to the painters of India. When I started my business years ago, I had a coaching classes. I went to a painter to paint my signboard, my own classes. I had to actually tell him to paint, actually paint karte the. And that time when I used to come to Mumbai, theaters had these big posters for movies which people used to paint. So it's a painters of Maratha Mandir Federation. There's a Maratha Mandir Federation of Indian painters. Hussain Saab was one of them. कहाँ गए वो लोग अभी? Do painters exist? It is not theory, it's happening now everywhere. What I'm talking is not theory, what I'm talking about imagination, it is happening everywhere. हमको जमाने के पहले बदलना है, जमाने के साथ बदलना है. I give you this one big statement. It says, in order to win the game, you have to pass the ball to where the time is going. In order to win the game, you need to, pass the ball to where time is going. Like, how many of us play football? If you play football, you would know if there are two players in a team, this player, if he shoots the ball, the other player is not going to be standing there for the ball to come. He would rather go to a place where the ball would come. He wouldn't stand there. In fact, I would shoot the ball जहां पर player आने वाला है, not where player is standing. Similarly in business, if you want to thrive, if you want to make it big, you have to, pass the ball to where time is going. You'll understand this by the end of the talk. All these slides, what I talk from the inputs of New Version or from Reimagine. Now I go back. I go back to down memory in 1990 versus I experienced today, 2022. Between 1990 and 2022, in the 32 years, 80% of everything has disappeared. 80% of what existed in 1990 is no longer today, existing today. Now, this would be a big, bold statement. You would say, I lived in 1990, sab kuch वैसा ही है. How can you say 80% disappeared? In my biodata, I said, storyteller. I convey most of my thoughts through stories. Here I'm going to tell you a few stories. 9 stories to be precise, one after the other. These 9 stories would rather prove to you कि जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ वो सच है. What I'm telling you now is 80% of what existed in 1990 is no longer existing today. Those of you born after that will notice. You can go back to your parents and actually ask them. My first story is I lived in a small locality in Andheri East. And the story is about my family soap. My family soap. In 1990, my mother used a soap, my father used a soap, which was same brand. My sister used a soap. I don't have the same soap. The soap might have been different, but the brand was same. I used the soap. My neighbor used the same soap. He used the same soap. 80% of people in my neighborhood use the same. In fact, 95% of Indian market share was occupied by this soap. Can anybody use the soap? You see, madam, life boy. We all use life boy. You know that popular saying, Tandoori Street, Raksha Karta hai life boy. The red big bar, everybody use life boy. Normally when asking an audience is full, I ask, how many of us today use life boy? Out of doubt. You barely find one person audience say that. Do you use life boy today? Oh, you're patriotic towards that brand. So today, when you go to a mall, there are thousands of different varieties of soaps available. So, in one house, you find 5 different brands of soap. Like my wife uses Dove, my son uses some other soap, I use some other soap. So there are 5 brands in my house. So if you will go to any society in a reasonable place, you find so many brands. Life there has reduced to mere less than 1% of Indian market share. When they occupy more than 95% of Indian market share. क्यों ऐसा हुआ? Come back to my dialogue. I said, बदले या निकलो, distinct or extinct. Then consultants like me told the buyer, like so, इतना मैं red bar economics is one, the matter is not okay, the material is not okay, the shape is not okay, the color is not okay. You know what the directors, the owners of library say, and occupy 90% of the 93% of market share, there's no need for me to change. बदलने की जरूरत नहीं है. In the world, दुनिया ने उसको बदल दिया. People changed. And my life boy was replaced by all other soap. Because life boy refused to change. This is the message. The message said, if you don't change, the world will change you. Either you become restrained, or the world will become really extinct. Either a good law, you are making good. I will prove this by many examples which are happening from 1990. In 1990, my neighbor wanted to buy a car. He had already had 2 cars, 2 taxis that were running between Dadar to Nashik, Dadar to Pune. He wanted to buy a third one. My father knew the Indian leader and the performance was very popular in premium areas, and he manufactured a car called Fiat Padmini, the Kalipili car. He came to my house, he asked my father, Sila, the contact him. Why he came to my father? Because he says there's a waiting period of 2 years to buy a Fiat car. The cost of Fiat car was about 40,000 rupees. 40,000 का भरने के बाद में 200 वेट करना चाहिए. Can I get the 10 minutes? So he paid an on price of about 5,000 rupees, and my father put in his bill that those sort of waiting comes from 1 year. And finally, he got the car in 1 year. And the doctor had the same car, Fiat car. My father's company also had the same car, Fiat car. The global time rupees when the new cars are not coming in the Indian market. At that time, consultants told Fiat for many things are applicable. You change. The shape has to change, the color has to change, the windows have to change, the way the technology is changing, please change. And Fiat refused to change. 84 Maruti came in, 90 others car came in. Today, how many of you in the audience were asked, would really go and buy a Fiat car? No hands go up. But in 1990, Fiat and ambassadors ruled the world, ruled the Indian market. But today, nobody buys them. The third story is when I was in grade 7. My family had a system where every time a child comes first in a particular class, he rewarded something. In grade 7, if you come first in the class, my father would reward one over here. Now I have to give my child a watch. My sister came first. That was a point in the family, and she got a watch. My other sister got a watch. And the time came from me in 7, even I came first. In first in my class, and my father rewarded me with a watch. Can you imagine what was the brand of the watch? Which brand it might have been? 1990. So now really exists that time. These 3 alphabets, H, M, T. HMT occupied more than 90% of Indian market. All the 5 watches in my house were HMT. Like Lifebuoy, like Fiat car, HMT was the watch in the Indian scenario, Indian market. And that was a time, I will tell you, we had one channel in Doordarshan. Second channel had just come in 1990. Those were times when Monday was Bunyad, Tuesday was Hum Log, Malgul days, Chitrahar, Gulshan. Remember those days? 9 o'clock serial. So 9 o'clock was serial watching time. 9:30 was a family rosary time, followed by dinner. After dinner, we had distribution of work. My elder sister had to wash the utensils. The second sister had to dry them or clean them. My father used to lay down the mattresses. Each one had their own set of work. My work was only I was son. The distribution work was I had to give key to all the watches. Remove all the 5 watches and the clock. But get Charlie go because if I don't give key, next day the watches won't work. Listen, madam, do you remember the time when we give key to the watches? Do you give key? No watch. Yeah. So 1990, I just told you, 80% of the things that existed in 1990 don't exist today. You agree with me? The watch has gone away. I don't wear a watch. This disappeared. 80%. And in 1990, Everybody wore a watch. So, my father gave me HMT watch and I had to give key to that watch. At that time, consultants like me went to HMT company and told, "Aapko badalna hoga, quartz technology aa raha hai, please change." HMT refused to change. Titan came into the market with quartz technology. Titan replaced HMT, and finally, there was a big tala, a lock on HMT company. Today, HMT company doesn't exist. It's out because HMT refused to change. If you refuse to change, you'll be out of the market. So my inputs today, the insights today, you may be from the service industry, you may be from the manufacturing industry, you may look out for to being in the trading industry, you may be in logistics or any part, you may have an institution. Whatever I suggest today will apply, would be a take home to all of us. Everybody would be able to go home and implement directly, whichever industry you belong, you will be able to implement the take home given in the seminar, in this talk. The first thing is either you have to change. If you don't change, people will replace you. I'll give another story. When I was in 5th grade, in a birthday, people give you some cash. So I collected some cash, and my neighbor forced me to open a bank account. My first bank account was in Indian Overseas Bank. And you go there, and for the next 15 years, I've banked with Indian Overseas Bank and State Bank of India. You really go there to put your money, deposit your money, wait for an hour. To withdraw your money, wait for another hour. You give a check here, so you can see the check actually going from this account to that, the peon taking into the book, the physical ledgers, somebody making the thing, and the check actually goes to the manager cabin, but it comes out, and then the token number there, and again you go there to collect your own money. And today, banking has entered into your cell phone. I don't remember when is the last time I visited my bank. Everybody here wants to either bank with a new age bank like HDFC or a Kotak, where they get service, where you can operate from home. That's why the older banks are closing down, because they refuse to change. The next story is about movies. Trishul, Dawn, Love Story. These are the movies that my father showed me, showed the family then. We had theaters like Kalpana, Kamran. We had this side of town had a lot of theaters. Maratha Mandir, where a movie ran for almost 7 years. Apsara. How many of us today go to theaters like this? Has the theater going experience changed? The single screens have been replaced by multi-cinemas. I remember going to a theater, and if at all my bladder was full, I would have a handkerchief on my face. In the interval, I would ask for a corner seat with a fan. And only those theaters that changed have survived. Otherwise, they're all locked down. Today, movies have come into OTT platform, Netflix, and all other platforms. If they don't change, ये चीज दुनिया उनको बदल देगी. My friendly neighborhood Nagrik store, the Kirana wala. My mother used to make a list at home. Kya chahiye ration for the week, for the month? Rice, good, sugar. She would actually go to a Kirana shop, and there would be sample rice, and they would show, and she would order, and next day the delivery would come. Today, other than those immediate things, I think 90% of us don't go to a Kirana store. It's been replaced by the D-Mart or a Big Bazaar or a Star Bazaar. We all online platforms. So then 99% of people, 100% of people used to buy from a Kirana shop or an agri store. Today, 95% buy online or from a D-Mart, and Kirana shops have just become 5% of the business because they refuse to change. Only those who change have thrived in business. Let us come to telephone. I had a telephone diary in my pocket, and I had to call somebody. I had to call Rujuta. I would take a telephone diary, go to R, and then remove their phone number. And similarly, let me talk about the telephone called MTNL. MTNL. Today we say, Mera telephone nahi lagta. If I want a telephone connection, I had to wait for 6-7 years long, for which I pay 1,000 rupees then. And if I want a faster connection, I pay 3,000. I get it after 2 years. And if I want a Tatkal connection, which is then costing me 30,000 rupees, then also I should get it after a month. Tatkal. And today, when I want a telephone connection, I just go with my Aadhaar card across the counter and it gives me a live card on the spot. I buy it and I start calling. If MTNL had only changed, they were the only people in the market, today they would have been rulers. They refused to change. And today, everybody, Jio is ruling the market. Gas connection. Gas. When the family wanted a gas connection at home, it took us more than 1 year to get a gas cylinder home. I remember that time a gas cylinder came home, my father actually got a mithai dabba and we go and distribute to the neighbors, gas aa gaya. Do you remember that time, Gracie madam?
Yes.
Yes. And today, things have changed. Gas cylinder has become a museumal item in Mumbai. But at home, we all have gas connections straight coming to our house for pipe gas. In the next 8 years, we would show our children, this is how the cylinder looked like. Gas cylinder, we would keep a cylinder as a museum item. Again, I go back. 80% of the things that were existing in 1990 don't exist today. Neither an HMT watch exists, nor the Fiat car, nor that big Saban, nor the old theatre going experience, neither MTNL. I say, बहुत सारे चीज, nor the Maratha Mandal painter. I remember when there were a lot of state board schools in Maharashtra. I had gone to, when I opened my first school in 1994, I had a lot of files were required. I went to Vashi board. That time the board was in Sion. I went there and I had to wait for 3 days to get my first index number. Standing there outside the Vashi board, bribing people, greasing people's hands just to get the first index number. So my school was affiliated. I made this statement then to a person known to me. The clerk became then the deputy director of Maharashtra. He said, I remember the statement you made. I told him, agar aap nahi badloge na, schools would now, change, run away from you and change to ICSC and CBSC and go to other boards. Today, they're already finding this problem that schools are fast changing. Nobody wants to be in a state board. They either go to other boards, IGSCC, IB. And today, the board is running, actually in the next 5 years, we see they would employ salesmen like MR, medical representatives, who would come to school, wait out for the principal office and say, please, kuch to ek to division hame enroll kara do na, humko de do. They would say this. Times have changed. If we don't change, people will change us. You may be in any industry. You may be in service industry. You may be in manufacturing industry. You have to change, or either you become distinct or you become extinct. The next slide says, I can tell you 500 more stories. 500 stories. No story here. I can tell you 500 more stories. The first computer that I bought was a 286, then 386, 80, XT. I don't know, the big floppy drive. If you remember those times, right? So we had the paper floppies and then we had the flat floppy drives. We had WordStar, DOS, we had Lotus. So I remember all these days when we should send money to my Mangalore. Money order was one of the, if you really go to the post office, send the money order jata tha. If somebody, if a telegram, postman comes a telegram, that means I know it's somebody's bad news. How many of us send telegram today? SMS has changed. 80% of things that existed in 1990 don't exist today. I mean, all that, the Kirana shop, the electronic shop, the steel centers, the cloth centers, I mean, all that. Today, online has replaced them. I can tell you 500 more stories. If I ask in the audience, probably each one of you can tell me 1,000 more stories. Each one of us will relate 1,000 more stories to tell me what existed in 1990 which don't exist today. If I just take a particular small belt in Mumbai between Dadar to Mulund, at that time in 1990, 5,778 medium scale industries existed. Proper data. 5,778 medium and small scale industry existed between Dadar and Mulund in that belt. Today, only 68 exist. What happened to the remaining 5,710 industries? Where have they gone? So when I say 80% of things don't exist today, I'm talking to you from data. If you have seen 1990, you'll be with me, you'll believe this. Similarly, if 80% of things that existed in 1990 don't exist today, believe me, 100% of things that exist today will not exist in 2030. आज 2022 है, जो भी आज exist हो रहा है, will not exist in 2030. That is my message. जिस तरह से आप धंधा कर रहे हो, the way you are trading, the way you are manufacturing, the way you are giving your service, अगर आप नहीं बदलोगे, distinct नहीं हो जाओगे, तो 2030 में लोग आपको बदल देंगे. Somebody else would come and take over. You would not exist. तो अगर आपको धंधा करना है, तो आपको सीखना होगा, आपको अडॉप्ट करना होगा, चेंज करना होगा. That was the message that I gave in the first few slides when I showed you the future. हम सबको बदलना होगा. I am running a chain of schools and institutions. Our Prime Minister has come up with a program called NEP, the New Education Policy, which has changed the entire, the curriculum, the structure. I run a 10+2 K-12 education, but it says in the next 5 years it will not be K-12. He has changed to 5+2+3+3. It's come back to 11+4. If I don't change, if I don't adapt, I will not exist in 2030. So all of us in our own businesses, you may be chartered accountant. The way you are giving the service today, in fact, the way chartered accountants gave me service in the last 15 years, that's not the way I get my service today. And 2030, if you continue the same way, you will not exist. I would come down. So in the next 19 slides, quickly, I would tell you, I would show kahan gaye ye sab cheezein. So we'll go one by one. As I talk, the slides will change. Focus on the slides, you would know. To just convey the message to you that 80% of things that existed in 1990 don't exist today. So once you know कि 80% जो 1990 में था आज नहीं है, so you can then be convinced 1990 से 2022 80% things are not existing today. Then I say 100% of things that exist in 22 will not exist in 30. You would all know, you would all believe, and then you'll ask me क्या करना होगा? If I have to be relevant, if I have to exist in 2030, क्या करना होगा? And that will be the last half an hour, 45 minutes of my talk, where I give you take home to make karna kya hai. Here are they. Have you ever wondered where all the cut centers have gone from our locality? The next one. Have you wondered where did all the old theaters go from our locality? The old theaters, the Kalpana, the Kamran, the Alexander, the Apsara, where have they gone? Where are the typing tutors and the typewriters and the stenographers? We all finished 10th standard. We should all go for a course called typing course. Kitna speed hai? 40, 60. We do a steno course. Have you done the same? Do anybody today go for typewriters or the stenographer course? No. Pitman, shorthand. Have you heard the word? Yes. They don't exist today. It's in the museum. Have you ever wondered where did all the pagers go? We all went around with a pager that beeped. Where have the pagers gone? Have you ever wondered where did all the STD PCO booths go? Every third shop had STD PCO. There's a thriving business everywhere. Where have they gone? Have you ever wondered where did all the local tailors go? How many of us still today really go and tailor out our suits? Or we all buy ready-made? Misho?
Ready-made shops have tailors.
Few of them. Few of them. वो भी नहीं रहेंगे. I remember the time when my father, me, and my sisters used to buy, my sister's mother used to have 1 taka, the similar ones. Christmas comes and we'll all tailor, go to a tailor, and then he'll actually go 1 month before. Easter, if it's in April, we'll go in by March, otherwise nahi milega. Diwali time we will not get. But today you go the eve before Diwali in the evening and you go to a ready-made store, quickly buy, and Diwali day you are there, You actually don't need to go pre-plan or 1 month before with the tailor. They're all being replaced. Kahan gaye wo letter printing press? Actually for to print this document, I have to go and he'll assemble every alphabet. He'll give me after the 1 page after a week. Today, if I want a printed page, even a book, if I decide in the morning, by evening I get a book printed. If I want a page, it's just a matter of few minutes. Where are all the kahan gaye wo small doctors? Photo doctors. Kahan gaye wo VHS players? You know, those big video, you used to go to a video library and give 10 rupees to buy a movie and put in the VHS players. In fact, where are the CDs? The video cassettes, libraries. I know one guy who used to run a video library in Kalina, Santa Cruz. Popular. Today is the owner of Pen Network, Popular Entertainment Network. Jayantilal Gada. He makes movies. He's a multi-millionaire because he changed. He knows a library dhanda mujhe aage nahi le jayega. In 1990, he was already talking about what will happen in 220 years, preparing himself for the next generation. कहां गया वो बजाज चेतक स्कूटर, कहां गया वो एम्बेसडर फिएट, कहां गया वो राजदूत एसडी एनफील्ड बुलेट, बुलेट फिर भी है, कहां गया वो TVS 50 Luna. I don't know if you remember these TVS 50 Luna. कहां गया वो Lambretta, Vespa, Contessa, Classic, Cello, Daewoo, Mattis was not 1990, it was much later. Fiat Uno, Tata Sierra, Tata 407, Maruti 1000, Bajaj Sunny, Kawasaki Bajaj 100, Yamaha RX 100. कहां गया? कहां गया वो Keltron, Meltron TV? Remember we had TVs with those shutters? Actually, we should keep a shutter to open it. Huge TVs, the big back, and then they became so much, and then so much. You know what happened in 22? Have you been to Archie's showroom? Archie's showroom anytime? You have bucket of posters. So you will find TV in a bucket. You will just pick up a roll, come at home, roll, and actually paste it on the wall. That will be your 2030. I mean it. So, कहाँ गया वो Philips, Konark. Those who have seen 1990 will remember these names. Dianora, Salora, Nelco, Blue Diamond, Optonica, Akai, Aiwa, Crown TV, Onida, if you remember Onida, Neighbors Envy, Owners Fight, National Panasonic, Murphy, Solitaire, Vista. These are all brands of my childhood. None of them exist today. Are any market. Today is LG, Samsung, which did not exist in 1990. But today, they're the market leaders. Why? Because these people, the Keltron Meltron, refuse to change. कहाँ गया वो दूरदर्शन? How many of us watch Doordarshan today? I remember just running to a neighbor's house. We had those round tom Doordarshan running, waiting for some time till the next flight comes. And then after 5 minutes, somebody comes. And then 6 o'clock Sunday evening, a Sunday movie will play. And there will be a lot of people waiting in the audience to see a Sunday movie, Marathi movie on a Saturday evening. Do you remember this, madam? Right? Do we wait for a Sunday evening to see a Hindi movie today? No. Today, just go, plug in whichever time you want of the day or night, and you want, wish the TV, wish what movie you want to see, and you see it. Agar Doordarshan your facility diya hota, then today you don't have a replace. Doordarshan is out. They were the market leaders. They were the only people in the market. They were the. So, कहाँ गया वो antenna? I remember the time when we used to watch cricket match or something. Somebody would climb the terrace and from the screen, हाँ दिख रहा है क्या? He would change. Or हाँ बिठ गया वैसे ठीक हो गया. Those TV antennas.
Yes.
Then you have clarity. Gone. कहाँ गया वो चित्रहार? बिनाका, गीतमाला. Do you remember? सिबाका, नुक्कड़, बुनियाद, रंगोली. 840 का न्यूज, 840 का न्यूज. 8:30 बातम्या. आमची माती, आमची माणसे. आपण याला पाहिलेत का? कहां गए ये सब चीज? कहां गया वो कैसेट्स, कैसेट प्लेयर, रिकॉर्ड्स, ग्रामोफोन्स, वीडियो कैमरास, टेलीग्राम्स, पोस्टर, inland letters, envelopes, and fountain pens. My teacher used to actually beat us for using ball pens. Ink wala pen hona chahiye. Do we do that in school any longer? Do any schools do it?
Gel pen now.
Yes. कहां गए वो रुकावट के लिए खेद है? I don't know how many of us remember that line.
Yes.
रुकावट के लिए खेद है. इस रूट के सभी लाइन वेस्ट हैं. You remember that this line? Today do we hear things like that? कृपया थोड़ी देर बाद फोन करें.
तो अभी भी सुन रहे हैं.
5 पैसा, 10 पैसा, 25 पैसा, the film cutouts. कहाँ गया HMT wristwatch? So these are all कहाँ गया? My past, our past, 1990. So my topic for this talk is kal, aaj or kal. You know, Gracie madam asked me, what is that 699022230? 90 is my kal, 22 is my today. So I have taken you to the down memory lane, 1990 in a nice manner by telling you so many stories. Now let us see aaj. I'm coming, this is my school, how it looks like. We call it as a school, like school of tomorrow of my schools. We call it school of tomorrow. I went to my school, which existed when I was going to school, Kurla Holy Cross. I did visit another school, St. Jude's. And I went and saw that the benches, even the graffiti that was there, they still exist. The blackboards still exist in few of them. But if you go to the newest schools, they've all been replaced. The blackboards have become either green boards or white boards. They have become digital. If you see behind me the digital, you don't no longer use a whiteboard. You have a smart board today. And pandemic changed everything. What would happen in 2030? One pandemic came, and what it happened in 2020. Teachers could teach the entire India from the comforts of their home. Zoom, which was a distant dream, became arm cheese. Earlier, if this talk existed, I think you have been doing this talk for many years. People should actually physically come here. But pandemic changed this whole thing. Today you sit at home, you watch it, or you can always go through it later in a YouTube format. Things changed. This was not the scenario in 1990. If you want to hear something, you better go there physically, travel there, sit there. I remember so many business meetings that I had before 2020, and so many alumni which were already physical have today replaced. So this is again a big statement. Now I come to doables. Whatever has made you successful in the past won't be in the future. Whatever has made you successful in the past won't work in the future. इसलिए छोटा take home पहला, small take home. Let me come to the interior of a car. I'm showing you a car. The moment you sit in a driver's seat, the first seat, this is what you see. A photograph taken from the interior of a car. What do you see? क्या क्या दिखता है? Gracie madam, just imagine you're sitting in a car next to the driver. क्या क्या दिखता है? What all do you see?
You can see outside also.
You can see outside. What else can you see?
Inside the car, the steering wheel.
Steering wheel दिखता है. Very good, Gracie madam.
That changed from right
Steering.
to left.
Yeah, no, the photograph is taken flipped. The steering wheel, you see the air conditioner. What else do you see? Rujita, what do you see? क्या क्या दिखता है आपको? You see a stereo, sound
Rear
system.
view mirror.
You see a mobile there. Yeah, Mayur bhai, yes. What all do you see?
Rear view mirror.
No, I said. Mayur bhai, you said something?
Yeah, rear view mirror, I said.
Yeah, you see a mirror. Very good, Mayur bhai. You see a mirror, right?
Yeah.
And I would add to it, you also see a windscreen, don't you?
Yeah, windscreen, but the rear view mirror is smaller than the windscreen.
Is smaller, correct. So I come to the next slide. There you have got it right. So that's the mirror and that's the windscreen. So you see a small mirror and a huge windscreen, correct? Mayur bhai, rightly pointed out. You see
Yes,
a small mirror and a
that
large
is right.
windscreen.
That
In
is right.
fact, I tell this to all my parents and students. A good driver, अच्छा driver कहाँ दिखता है? ज़्यादा mirror में दिखता है या windscreen में दिखता है?
आगे देखते हैं आगे.
आगे दिखता है ना? Good windscreen in the mirror. Somebody in the back seat. So, अच्छा driver हमेशा ज़्यादा time 99% windscreen में दिखेगा. Only the time when you put your brake on your screen and किसी को पीछे नहीं है. Mirror. Mirror tells you this पीछे क्या है? Windscreen tells you आगे क्या है. That's why you told lovely. अच्छा ड्राइवर हमेशा आगे दिखता है, एक अच्छा बिजनेसमैन हमेशा आगे दिखेगा, एक अच्छा स्कूल बच्चों को आगे की पढ़ाई देगा. Time there, when you tell children learn history books, learn Shivaji, learn Aurangzeb, learn. Today we need to change and teach children skills for tomorrow. धंधा करना है, हमें आगे देखना है, कल का सोचना है, past सोच के धंधा नहीं. Whatever worked in the past will not work in the future. Is what I told you. So What I'm going to talk today is one word. What am I talking today on? Here we come, next slide. We are talking on past and future. The mirror is the past. The windscreen is the future. Past छोटा होता है. As the companies are making cars better and better cars, windscreen में से बढ़ते जाता है. हमें आगे देखना है. मेरे छोटा होना है. Past is little. Don't say नहीं होना है. Little. Next slide. We are talking about a weird future. We have to shape it. Shape it with vision and action. Now why? Why do we want to change? क्यों change करना पड़ेगा? Because.
Hello.
Yeah. Somebody commenting? Okay. Because change means a lot of trouble, pain, sacrifice, risk, and efforts. My plan of action for year 2030 is ready. 2030 में क्या करना है? That I'm ready. And I've been working on it for the past 12 years. 2030 में मुझे क्या करना है? मेरे schools कैसे होंगे? That plan is ready. और ये plan आज नहीं है. For the past 12 years I've been consistently working. So my message for today to all of you is change your base from past to the future. Change your base from past to the future. आपको growth नहीं करना है. We don't want growth any longer. People who want growth will not grow. You need to take a quantum leap, a giant leap. Change yourself. Whatever business you are, you may be service sector, you may be an institution, you may be in manufacturing, you may be trade, you may be a doctor, a CA, a professional. Okay, you change yourself from my be to my he. We all take homes. You will change yourself from pehla take home is avoid growth, take quantum leap. Come to the previous slide. Avoid growth, your quantum leap. Second, change yourself from my be. उसमें किया मैं भी करूँगा. Change from my be to my he. Serve my he. Next slide says serve my he. Yeah, 180 schools in my Vasai Virar municipal college. 180 schools from all mediums. 180 schools, 130 schools are English medium schools. And I even catered to different CBSE, ICSE. I went and I wanted to start a school of a different kind. Somebody started CBSE and others said, maybe CBSE Kolunga, maybe CBSE Kolunga. Somebody started ICSE, said, maybe ICSE Kolunga. I didn't want to be in that maybe race. So I went to find out what is the word in the market. I did small market research. And I saw that there was a big lot of parents who are both working, with a big need in the market. People wanted to send their children for a complete outsource of education, one-point solution. I started a pool called as SKC 828. In SKC 828, people students come in the morning to school at 8 a.m. They are in school from morning 8 to evening 8. It's a second home for them. Here I take care of school, the tuitions, we do monitoring learning, we do activities like arts, craft, music, cycling, swimming, dancing, martial arts, skating. We also give them, technical education. It's a complete morning 8 a.m. We give them breakfast, lunch, evening snacks. Students just go home for dinner, bath, and sleep. Let's go home for dinner, bath, and sleep. A parent leaves the child in the morning. We say no homework, no tuitions, no tiffin box, no lunch box. Everything is taken care of. I did not say my you. I said my you. I actually said self my you. No the school in current service and Vasai the first way Vasai send the children to me, I'm repeating this in other two places. I said self my you. That's all I have. Still very much of data, there is no else in the market that gives you this product. Now, why I use the example especially because that is my message for today. In whatever business you are, self-made. I come to the next slide. If there's nothing very special about your work, if there's nothing very special about your work, no matter how hard you apply yourself, you won't get noticed. And increasingly means you won't get paid much better. I repeat, there's nothing very special about your work. No matter how hard you apply yourself, you won't get noticed. And that increasingly means you won't get paid much better. This statement is not from me, but from Michael Goldhaber, Wired. I repeat my earlier statement, it says, either be distinct or be extinct. तो आपका सवाल मेरे लिए क्या होना चाहिए at this time of the talk? बोलो क्या करूं? What to do? Please tell me what to do. Dear speaker, आपने पिछला, you've been talking for the last 1 hour. It's from 6:15 to 7:15. आपने बताया बदलो बदलो बदलो, become distinct or extinct. मुझे बताओ मैं सीए हूं, मैं क्या करूं? मुझे बताओ मैं सर्विस सेक्टर में क्या करूं? मुझे बताओ I'm in trading में क्या करूं? I'm in manufacturing में क्या करूं? Tell me what to do. The next 1 hour I'm going to actually tell you क्या करना है. What should you do? In 11 slides मैं क्या करना है. That will be your take home. अगर आपको इसमें से 11 से everything किया, you come thanking me saying that one moment changed my life. The next 1 hour if you be with me personally, and you take home the catch is the only thing that you can do. That you have the 11 and when you should be able to get, you come searching for me to thank me saying that one moment. Remember this day, you will string in your life, historic in your life. What are the catch? 13 December, you are right and great. The Sunday this evening changed my life forever. I play a talk, and we say, next 1 hour, please give me application. And I will tell you, beautiful take home, because of this making over. Okay, then we talk about 1990, we talk about 2022, but today I'm not going to talk about this distinct होना है, अलग होना है, नंगा वाला करना है, तो क्या करेंगे? Here we come. Then I take home, competition. Get into the blue ocean. This is a book I told you, The Blue Ocean Strategy. I'm inspired by this. Get into. Now you're going to talk about some time. I don't know how many of you read the book Blue Ocean Strategy. I'm going to talk for the next few minutes on this one topic. In the Blue Ocean Strategy, the first chapter that talks about a story. If the story cannot inspire, nothing can. The story is from first chapter, and you can analyzing it. So I'm going to talk about. There's a driver, taxi driver in Mumbai, he had a taxi in Mumbai, and the scenario is about 2000, the year 2000, he had a taxi in Mumbai. And, there was this man called Alex. Alex was staying in Kandivali Lokmanya complex with his family, wife and child. He used to work in Dubai. He was in Dubai, he was working in Dubai, and now you can replace it with this time, the slide. Every story you can do that. So Abdul was a taxi driver in Mumbai, was one character of our story, partner of that story, and you can replace now. So Alex was in Dubai. He used to come to Mumbai once in every year once. साल में एक बार दो बार used to come to Mumbai, as every other person who works abroad does. He came to Mumbai, and one evening, about 8 years when he has been coming to Mumbai, in the year 2000 when he came to Mumbai, he came to the airport and he availed a prepaid taxi service. The prepaid taxi service that's available in the airport. He paid for the taxi. He told मुझे Mumbai airport से Kandivali जाना है. He got that small bill. He came out. The next taxi in the line came to him. It turned out to be Abdul's taxi. तो यहाँ पर हमारे कहानी के दो पात्र मुलाकात होता है. Alex from Dubai, who sits in Kandivali, who works in Dubai, And Abdul और taxi driver दोनों की मुलाकात यहाँ होता है in the first chapter. दोनों जब मिलते हैं यहाँ पर अब्दुल उतर जाता है गाड़ी से उतरता है, kicks down, comes to Alex, takes his two baggage, opens the dicky, Abdul puts the bags inside, closes the dicky. He greets Abdul. Abdul greets Alex. Hello. Now यहाँ पर Alex is having a little, bell बजता है. This driver is different. Something different about him. For the last 8 years, I've been coming for maybe 15, 16 times. And I didn't find there's something different about this driver who picked up his luggage, put it in the boot, wished me, greeted me, and then opened the door and he said, "Sir, please have your seat." He opened the door and made an exit, then ran up to his driver's seat and answers from the car and started the car. And as he started the car, he made a statement, he made an announcement to Alex. He said, "Sir, now we are at the Shivaji terminus. And the script says that we need to go to Kandivali Thakur complex. At that time, Google Maps didn't exist so much. He said we have to go to Kandivali Thakur complex. The distance from here is about 25 kilometers or 22 kilometers. And it will take about 1 hour. In 1 hour, the first 20 minutes we will reach Kandivali. But in the next 20 minutes, we have to be only Kandivali from smiled because he knew traffic hota hai. He knew, really knew that. From the time he got a flight in Lokhandwala and Kandivali, he knew that the bottleneck traffic hota hai. But this driver took time to tell this. And Alex relaxed behind. This driver gave a smile. The taxi started from Chhatrapati Shivaji terminus, Sahara Airport, as we used to call it. Came out on Andheri Highway. When we were on Andheri Highway, that Abdul takes a bottle of water, a half-liter bottle of water from his dicky, from his, there's a drawer there. He removes with a nice napkin over it and gives it behind to Alex. Sir, aapke liye pani. Alex is noticing everything, the way the luggage was kept, the way the door was opened, the way greeting was done, the way bottle they in. And Alex is confused. Kya cheese kya hai? Dal gaya driver. And he says, "No, okay." He says, "No, I give water to every customer." Normally, we used to get water bottles in the air, in flight, or in a maybe Volvo bus, or in a Rajdhani train. But in a taxi, which taxi driver actually gives you a water bottle? We look at this driver offers a water bottle to the customer Alex. And then Alex accepts it. गाड़ी थोड़ी आगे जोगेश्वरी जाती है. And by the time this driver makes a comment, "Sir, in the back of my seat, there are several newspapers kept. They are all current today. Aaj ka newspaper. There's an English, Hindi, Marathi. There's a magazine." And Alex glances on the seat backside. There is the Times of India. That time midday existed, midday. The English, there is Hindustan Times, there's the Maharashtra Times, Marathi. And then there is the weekly magazine. And he's so happy because he's come for 6 months to Mumbai. He's hungry for news. And there the newspaper is right before him. Alex takes the newspaper. There is 1 hour to time pass. He starts reading in the moving taxi. Normally we get this newspapers and magazines only in flights or Rajdhani. Yahan is a Mumbai taxi driver that has actually offered you a newspaper. Again, the taxi goes a little further, and that guy from the dicky, he removes a small tray having banana, one small lychee banana, one small apple, having little grapes, a small orange, neatly packed, like now today what you get in the mall, neatly packed, and he offers to Alex, "Sir, you can enjoy these fruits by the time we reach our destination. There are 2 chocolates there." In a flight, you get some meal to eat, but कौन सा taxi driver meal देता है ऐसा fruits? Alex accepts it. All the time he's amused. He accepts the tray. And as he's going eating the fruits, the banana, the apple, the chocolates, Kandivali kab aata hai pata hi nahi chalta hai. 1 hour has gone over. The taxi has reached his destination. Abdul gets down along with Alex, gets the luggage out, and walks along with Alex. Alex is totally surprised. His jaws are down. It's unbelievable for him. He cannot even believe he taxi driver aisa kar raha hai. Abdul walks with him up to the lift, opens the lift, puts the luggage and goes to his purse. And Alex is wondering, ये पर्स में हाथ क्यों डाल रहा है? It's time for me to give a tip. What is he doing? Is he going to give me a tip? But Abdul अपने पर्स में से एक कार्ड निकालता है and offers a visiting card like this to Alex. Says, "This is my visiting card, sir. A taxi driver in a card. It says Abdul Taxi Wala. Abdul Taxi Wala." And behind is there's a phone number of Abdul. Alex accepts it. But Abdul, Alex says, "Wait a minute." He opens his purse and he gives a 10 dirham note. 10 dirham. In 2001, dirham was about 18 rupees. 10 Dubai dirhams, 180 rupees tip. If you actually see, all what Abdul offered, a banana tray at that time may cost about 20 to 30 bucks. A bottle of water then, 2.5 liter bottle cost 10 rupees. That time it had been 5 rupees. All the meals were put together, which is the entire day all customers are going to use, may cost maximum 20 rupees. The total thing that we have offered to one passenger is not more than 30 to 40 rupees in returning or a tip of 180 rupees. But that's the instant benefit. I'll tell you further benefit. This guy, Alex, as he goes up to his 7th floor residence, now what is dancing on his head is only Abdul. He's not even thinking of his wife or his kid. He's not excited. So he's saying, "Kya ho gaya? Mera bomba badal gaya hai." Abdul is on his head. He walks over the lift. By the time he opens the bell, he rings the bell. Still Abdul uske sar mein naach raha hai. When he opens the door and then he composes himself, he comes back down. He says, "Hello," that's his wife. And it takes some time for Abdul to get out. He sits, greets his wife, becomes fresh. He meets his children when they come back from school. He has his meal. The evening comes and he has to go back to his sister's place. You know, a man always has this problem. His wife's place or sister, mother ko milna hai. His sister stays in Bhandup. So sister ko bhi jana, he gets ready to go. But hey, mera shirt kidhar gaya? She says, it's in the laundry bag. Nikal usme card hai. He gets the card. He calls that number. Abdul, आज सुबह आपने मुझे कांदिवली छोड़ा था. Abdul, yes sir, I remember. आप किधर हो? इसे आमिन बोलेगा. आप आओगे? हाँ आता हूँ ना. In 30 minutes, Abdul comes to Alex's place and they go to Bhandup. At that time, the app that Ola Uber didn't exist. So he comes there and takes him to Bhandup and brings him back from Bhandup. And Alex says in that book, during that trip, I was in Mumbai for 1.5 months. 1.5 months, I needed a taxi for more than 12 times. And all the 12 times, I remembered Abdul. Self Abdul. Mujhe Abdul hi chahiye tha. And today, by the time the book was written, it was another 12 years. Aaj 2012 hai. In the last 12 years, I have come to Mumbai 20 times. And 20 times when I came to Mumbai, मैंने किसी को शायद बिना मुझे बताया नहीं, all your supplies. But this is like I called Abdul. I told Abdul, Mumbai level flight number. 8 time पे मेरी गाड़ी आ रही है. And Abdul was at the airport to pick me up. Today Abdul has 40 taxis. He has cars. And he has a big number, call number, and he gives service. Because Abdul is in Blue Ocean. All the taxi drivers are in a total competition. They are in Red Ocean. So the author says, get your business in Blue Ocean. Here is the competition. Get into the competition in this world. I repeat, the author of Blue Ocean says, get into a competition less world. इसे competition नहीं हो, सर्विस दे रहे हो, ऐसा सर्विस दो कि उनको देने पड़े. अगर आप कुछ भी कर रहे हो, ऐसा चीज दो कि कोई दे नहीं पाए, सिर्फ compete होंगे. Is my message for today. Please, I want to make it big. Then you have to get into the Blue Ocean. Become an Abdul. Get inspired from Abdul. Read this book. Get inspired from Blue Ocean and get your business into the Blue Ocean and let's learn from the Blue Ocean strategy. My advice number 2, my suggestion number 2 is don't walk, run. Chalo band kar do. Don't be slow today. Come to the small. Be slow. Stop walking, start running. Be fast, quick. Speed is the key. My third take home is, it is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. The strongest or intelligent do not make it big. But the one who is most responsive to change, आपको बदलना होगा. ये मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, ये चार्ल्स डार्विन बोल रहा है. डार्विनियन थियरी, ही बोलता है अगर आपको बदलना होगा, So you have to be responsible to change. One more diving statement. Whoever you are, professional, manufacturer, service person, running institution, medical college, don't be on the let's keep this here. School, in assembly, normally during school, people join their hands, close their eyes, and they say, come to my assembly. Start with a 45-minute dance session. Children, dance their way to God. I don't say we are not. They just dance their way to God. 45 minutes of vigorous dancing in the assembly. So when I tell somebody, it may scare them. You can really do that. But today we have few general institutions, including Holy Family and exactly what us. It is becoming very common, it's spreading like wildfire. It scares you. The next one is a question to all of you, a suggestion in the form of take home in the form of question. Have you invested as much this year in your business? Have you invested as much this year in your business development as in other developments? हो सकता है आपने अपने शरीर को अच्छा बनाने में बहुत इन्वेस्ट किया होगा. I want to become, I want to be fit. शरीर बनाने में रोज 1 घंटा 2 घंटा डाला होगा. हो सकता है आपको अपने ब्रेन को अच्छा बनाने में काफी टाइम लगा होगा. हो सकता है आपने अपना लुक्स बदलने में अपना बॉडी बदलने में टाइम डाला होगा. अपना एकेडमिक चीज बदलने में टाइम डाला होगा. Have you invested as much time in your business development? Today, I of course I balance myself, but I put a lot of energy in my business development. We have one more dialogue which says, destruction is common. Destroy everything. No. Destruction is cool. Tom Peter, there's a book called Circle of Innovation. The book says, change from COO to CDO. Stop being a chief operating officer. Become a chief destruction officer. Destroy all that is there today. Change, think different, reimagine. And then that's why I said this talk is inspired from a book called Reimagine. Reimagine everything. Reimagine the way you do your business. That's exactly what I did. And that's the secret of my success. See, I talk about a lot of topics. I'm a paid speaker. I talk about parenting. I'm called on many platforms about parenting. And that's not what I of course I read from various books, but I implemented in getting my son Shalton up. My Shalton is a product of the theory of parenting that I applied. When I talk to people, it's only what I practiced at home. I also talk about money management, how to make money, keep money. And of course, I'm inspired by Robert Kiyosaki. I take my input from Suresh, my friend Suresh, who wrote a book, I Love Money. And then I have sessions on make money, keep money, grow money. But then I only talk about what I practice about money. I talk about relationship management. I really believe my guru Apurusha Acharya, who's also been a guru to Mayur Bhai, he says, only the people who know the way you function in your business or in your work front depends heavily upon the quality of the relationship that you have with the people that matters most in your life. I have my spouse. The relationship that I share at home with my wife, with my kid, with my mother, it really affects my business. So the way I'm able to function is because of the relationship that I have. And I talk about relationship management. In Catholic circles, we have this, marriage preparation course, which exists in all the parishes. And I'm a person invited to talk to all the young couples. That's because I practice in my own life how to keep a relationship up. John Gray is my big inspiration. Now I talk about relationship, I talk about money, I talk about parenting, I talk about these things. One thing I don't talk is about health. I never talk about health. I don't know. So I knew, but I don't know health because I do not actually practice health. Second, I always tell all my students and I'm a person who's about how to use mobile. Like if everybody knows in the world, my mobile name my number is with everybody. Everybody knows in the last 20 years, my mobile name is my number is with everybody, but you can't call me. You have to message me, I call back. That's the way I've been living. And this, I can tell every teacher in my school with a lot of authority, "Tumhara phone bajna nahi chahiye." Just imagine if my phone rings, what authority do I have to tell them, "Your phone bajna nahi chahiye"? Only when I practice it, authority to speak. So whatever I speak, is only when I practice. It's what I practice in my business. If I reimagine my schools. So my connection comes up over the past 20 years that I've been practicing. I've been doing. So it's not about only preaching. So I believe a trainer is a trainer only if he is able to talk what he actually practices. Otherwise, a pep talker. The next one that I come is be tech savvy. Be tech savvy. Absorb technology. Get high tech. And then, there are a lot of, get into all these things that are there. These things, the ATM, the net reservation, the Google Earth, the genetics, the cloning, all these things are going to influence your business. Be a global citizen. Global awareness is the key. Be open to international collaboration. Be open to, do not limit yourself to your village, your town, your city, or your state, or your country. Be open to international collaboration. The next one is reimagine everything. Reimagine. Out of the take homes, I wouldn't be fair if I do not talk about the next 2 points. It's about Ron Kaufman. I personally attended about 3 seminars, both India and abroad, from Ron Kaufman. I've also taken some personal counseling programs to see that my school gets influenced by his teachings. So Ron Kaufman, in his 6 levels of customer satisfaction, talks about the following. I want to convey this, make it part of my talk today in your business. If you're in a service industry or if you're in a manufacturing industry, make your product this way. What is it? Basically, Ron Kaufman talks about service industry. So most of you in the service industry, if you take this input, it's going to help you. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to talk about Ron Kaufman's theory. I told you in the beginning, I give due credit to all the people from where I take the data from. Nothing is my own. So I talked about so many people. In the same time, I told you where it is coming from. That is only to inspire you to read further on those books. What I'm just doing is introducing you to them. Acha laga, aap jaiye, read the whole book. Read about, watch Ron Kaufman. So Ron Kaufman says, Professor Pehla says, if you go to a restaurant to eat food, you dine in the evening, and you find a lot of flies on the table, mukki hai. You find a lot of hair on the table. You find dimly lit. You go and sit in the restaurant. If the waiter is wearing beard and the towel with which he cleans the plate and keeps it, would you ever dine in that restaurant? If you can see the kitchen where the man is without shirt, his sweat is falling, and he's cooking, would you eat in such a restaurant? Ron Kaufman says, this restaurant, we call them, one word, criminal. I hire a taxi, and I don't hire a taxi. I go to on the road and flag down a Kali Pili taxi. Or I book a Bruna. And the driver comes there, and he comes with a very old car. I book a Volvo Mini or a Uber Group, a very old car. He comes there, and then the car, I said, I sit in the seat, it keeps moving. And I sit there, I see a lot of hair from a previous passenger fallen down. The taxi has not been cleaned for the past 1 week or so. And the previous passengers vomited puke on the door. So there's a vomit lying on the door. The smell. And the driver turns behind and you see he has not bathed for the past 4 days. There's a foul smell coming out of him. We call this taxi as a criminal. Would you ever sit in such a taxi? I would say, "Nahi Baba, cancel karta hu. I cannot take a ride in this taxi." Would you ever sit in the restaurant that I told you? You wouldn't. So Ron Kaufman says it's criminal. I know if you're attending this seminar, you are not in the criminal phase at all. But till today, I find institutions, and I take services. Just the other day, I ordered something online. I found even in the online sector, there are people who are absolutely criminal. I ordered insulin for my mother, and the insulin came home hot. It has come in ice case. Normally, I found insulin come in hot case. That guy delivers, and he had audacity to say that you need to pay. I'm just a delivery boy. You need to pay. We got a call center. They say you pay, mother uska katega, and then it was a complaint. He has bought that insulin right from Andheri East to Vasai, and it comes hot. And insulin coming hot is dangerous. He has to bring it out. So there are people who are acting criminal even in the service industry today. The next level, according to Ron Kaufman, is basic. Basic. That's something that is basic. You go to a restaurant, you want a clean restaurant, a clean table, a clean place to sit. You want the waiter who's clean, looking clean, the plates that are clean. You want a menu card or a menu displayed which says the H is available here, and whatever is in the menu, most of the things should be available. Basic. Basic. If you go dinner time, you must get dinner. Snack time, you must get snacks. You cannot say snacks available nahi hai, 4 baje sham ko aapko dinner hi dena hoga. You want basic things. You get a taxi comes from you, book a Ola or Uber, it comes to you. Basic. Clean hona chahiye. Driver naya hoya chahiye. When you sit, window niche hona chahiye या फिर AC चलना चाहिए. अंदर clean vomit या बाल नहीं होना चाहिए. Basic things. They are basic. So when you basic things, come से come let all work hard in getting the basic things first in our business. We have 30 में आपको सही होना है. Let's get your basic things right according to Ron Kaufman. The next thing is when you come from criminal to basic, the next level according to him is called as expected. Get from the basic level, get to expected. I expect something. When I get to call a flag down on taxi, he's not the Ola or Uber. And I tell him, भैया मुझे आप यहाँ से चर्नी रोड से आप मुझे Indian Merchant Chamber ले जाओ. And he said, and he says, भैया next turning left लो या right लो. You tell him right लो, and again he said left लो. All the journey of India, you have to guide him. That's not the way you want to sit. You want to just relax and get to a work, and he should take you to a place that you want to go. You expect the driver to know where he has to take you. When you go to a restaurant, you actually answer the waiter or the captain, "Hi, what is good here?" You expect him to suggest to you, "Chai." You expect you clean water or a bottled water which comes from a brand, and you expect that पानी तो मिलना चाहिए. So there are some expectations from every business. So in your business or your service, there's everything that the customer expects. Understand what the customer expects. Like I have a big list which I say that parent expectations, and then we teachers meet every week. And there's a chart which says visible indicator, measurable indicator, which says every week expectations. We multiple parent expectations. Same thing. कंप्लीट हो then बोलते हैं उनको सिलेबस बताते हैं क्या एग्जाम में आने वाले हैं उनको जो चाहते हैं एग्जाम की तरह कम से कम 20 दिन उनको टाइम टेबल दिया जाए वो चाहते हैं कि रिवीजन हो वो चाहते हैं नोटबुक्स करेक्शन हो वो चाहते हैं कि करेक्शन रेगुलरली हो वहाँ छोटे छोटे नहीं डाले then you are a criminal. Each business has certain expectation of customer happiness. The taxi should know he will the customer expects. He at least wants to reach this level of expectation. So the next level is expectation according to Ron Kaufman. Expected. The next level, the fourth level is desired. There's the Ola Mini or the Ola Line or the Ola SUV. I book an SUV. When I book an SUV, I have extra luggage. There are 4 people. I cannot get myself in a small taxi. I require luggage space, and most of the Ola Mini has got a gas cylinder behind. I need a space to keep my baggage, so I order a Prime or I order a SUV. So definitely, normally we get a Ertiga, but desire cars Innova आ जाए. मुझे वैसे से भरपूर जा रहा है Innova आ जाए. तो desire. So every customer has desire out of the business. When you go to the restaurant, what desire? यहाँ पर ये मिलना चाहिए. Quantity इतना होना चाहिए. Quality ऐसे होना चाहिए. Desire. When parents expectation by school, they also have certain desire. मेरे स्कूल में आर्ट्स क्राफ्ट म्यूजिक साइकिलिंग स्विमिंग डांसिंग let my child learn activities of one point. I should not go searching for an activity teacher after school for after school activity. अगर इसे स्कूल में मिल जाता है तो मिलना अच्छा है. ये parent का desire है. Then you understand that and meet those desired things. The next level is called as surprising. Surprising बताने के लिए let me go back to Abdul, the taxi driver from Blue Ocean Strategy. जब उसने अगर लगेज उठा के डिक्की में रखा, he was definitely not a criminal or basic. I never expected him to लगेज रखे. I never expected him to greet करे. Definitely, I have desire. जब भी I said, of course I have a desire कि मेरे ड्राइवर मेरा लगेज उठा के रखे. But they don't. I normally, 99% of the time I go to the airport, I come out, I put my own luggage. Then the driver says, I open it, just open the dicky, I put it behind. I put my own luggage. So if you are, whatever sector of business you are, try to understand public क्या desire करता है, customer क्या desire करता है. I do it in my business. Consistently, constantly, I keep on doing it. I try to understand what do my students want, what do my parents want. If you are a professional, find out what do your customers want. You may be running a saloon, or you may be a accountant. You may be running a restaurant, or you may be a lawyer. Try to understand what does the customer desire. I come to the next level. He says surprising. So when the Abdul driver offered a bottle of water, it was surprising. When he says newspaper behind me, is that they are rude for the day, it was surprising. Nobody desires कि मुझे पानी देवे driver. नहीं, nobody has a paper वो कैसे करने के लिए, अगर ऐसे पेपर है, it is simply, it's surprising. और अगर इसमें sleep करते दिया, then it's the next level, and it's called unbelievable. It's unbelievable, not idea. I go to a restaurant in Goa for Royal Challenge. If you rush outside, if I'm waiting, you can waiting, other end waiting, waiting outside. They don't tell you, they take your name, make you sit, and then you're so comfortable outside. He actually comes with a glass of juice, a welcome drink, and gives you. And he comes with a small starter, and he says, three-piece starter, he says, khalo. Sometimes I put a papad. I go to Manthan or I go to any of Virar. They give me a, host of welcome drink. Either a restaurant, a small drink, waiting period. If it's big to come, he gives me at least 2 starters complimentary. Surprising and very surprising. I found restaurants where people, after finishing, when I come with the bill, they come with a 3 round of desserts for us. And I say, unbelievable. People do that. People should not be, they give them money more than what they desire. It's unbelievable. Get into the surprising thing. I have, my school has become the blue ocean, something that nobody else offers. I am in the competition less world in now. So whosoever say, name the whoso, officer of officer will consult him and say, it's first thing he thinks is to getting that child admitted in my school. We have the middle man with our municipal, police commissionerate now. And we have police officers coming in, and 80% officers have their kids in my school. It's a corporation. People from the corporation have kids in my school. So also will have the children in my school because I am in the blue ocean, complete blue ocean. Nobody has what I offer, and I work hard in knowing from the market as a catchy side. और ये भी मैं अपना करने बोल रहा हूँ. तो अगर इसे नहीं करोगे, जैसे लाइफ में एक्सट्रीम हो गया, जैसा निकल गया HMT वार्ड, खत्म हो गया Fiat गाड़ी, वैसे आप 2030 में रुकोगे नहीं. आपको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट बनना होगा. Find the void in the market and fill that void. So I say, especially 8 to 8, I did to the void in the market and to the market in that void and filled it up. I'm going to give one more new concept. I have started a campus in Igatpuri. Igatpuri was 2 hours distance from Thane. So this new product. I say, in school at Igatpuri for the week, home in Mumbai for the weekend. I'm still familiar with this concept. But a child from Thane, Mulund, Mandu, or from Borivali, or from Nasik, or from Sevilla, or Kalyan, Borivali, or New Bombay, the parents who are off to work, single mothers, single fathers, cannot put the children in hostel. You don't want a child to be in Madras or Panjali, or a child to have only in Diwali vacation. He wants a child back home every weekend. Or whatever it is, I just want to drive by and meet his child. I say, in school at Igatpuri for the week, home in Mumbai for the weekend. Give a child delivered to your home every Saturday. Give the children Saturday evenings, spend a Sunday, every time, and give me back on Monday. Monday morning to Saturday evening back to me. And in the market. Hostel schools, there are no weak boarding schools. There are this product called weak boarding. And this is, the concept. When I just share this concept, the same kind of thing, when you start, please let me know I am your customer. Some people say, अरे यार जब मालूम करो तो मुझे तुम्हें पेरेंट बनना चाहिए. And I'm not one of my friends who says, जब मैं सुनता हूँ concept, मैं लोगों से प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि वो मुझे अच्छा बना दे और वही तरह स्कूल में जाऊँ. This compliments, it becomes so high, so it enriches me, it makes me to become more creative. Thanks to doctors of creation strategy, thanks to Dr. Reimagine, I started reimagining things. Okay, so other than this, lastly, I would like to thank my friend Rajesh Tagore, who has come up with this concept. So every time I give you credits. So next, my input is from him. It says 5 levels of value proposition. In my discussion with him, I got this, and then I've been sharing this with everybody. So this is the last take home that I have to all of you. 5 levels of value proposition. The pehla wala bolta hai. Now to take home this point, I want to talk to you about my holiday. I went on holiday to sometime, right? And before that, we went also to the northeast, Assam. And both my trips, we bought the coffee beans or tea leaves from the garden, from the Assam tea garden. Those women are plucking those trees, and we stopped in a car. And my wife wanted to go there for pictures, and we saw them plucking those raw fruit and putting it back of tea leaves. And like when I go to Nahasapara, Kalam beach, I get flowers straight from the beach. I ask them, full day, and they give me a lot of flowers for 20 bucks. So actually, I asked in Assam, can I get some tea leaves? Then when you packed a bag full of tea leaves and gave me for 20 rupees. Same happened in Kurl. I got so much of coffee beans in mere 100 rupees. So much of them, right from the garden. I brought them home. We dried them. We made a coffee, good green tea and tea leaves and coffee. I calculated for the next 4 months, you use that thing what I bought from the garden. And 4 months, 100 rupees for the coffee beans and 20 for the tea leaves. I calculated एक chai का cup कितना पड़ा. It costed me less than 1 rupee. Less than 1 rupee, the tea that I had for the next 4 months at my home cost less than 1 rupee. But क्या पूरी जिंदगी भर can I go to Kurga, Assam to get tea leaves? No. I have to depend on DMart, or I have to depend on Big Bazaar, or I have to depend on other shops or online to get my tea. So either buy Society tea, or I buy Tata tea, or I buy Red Label coffee, or I buy Nescafe, and I buy them for my house. Now I get a package of things. I have a Shah Rukh Khan on the bag, I have a Alia Bhatt on the packet. Inside चाहिए, बाहर Alia Bhatt छपा हुआ है, Tata का product है, Society की चाहिए. Now I no longer pay 20 rupees or 100 rupees. Now for just 250 grams, I pay a few hundreds. I pay 250 to 1,000 bucks for a power kilo tea or a coffee. And now that coffee costs me per cup more than 5 bucks, 5 rupees. You make the prices but 5 times more or 7 times more. Because earlier जो मैंने खरीदा वो commodity था. Earlier जो मैंने खरीदा commodity था. Commodity को no, if the fellow in Assam market told me for 100 rupees, I'd never buy the leaves. तो जब 20 रुपए दिया तो मैं लेके आ गया. Because still वो 100 में दिया तो मैं लेके आ गया. But I don't do that bargaining in the DMart, or I don't do the bargaining on the online shop. It shows me Nescafe cost me so much, I buy that bottle because now it is a product. When I pay 200 rupees for the Nescafe jar, big amount goes to the brand. It goes to Nestle. It goes to Shah Rukh Khan. It goes to the bottle packaging. It goes to all these people. And finally, when I get that 1 cup of coffee, it costs me 5 rupees or more. And earlier it was 60 to 80 paisa, not 5 rupees or more. I'm actually paying 8 times, 7 times more just because wherever commodities are product time. So what do you learn? You learn that people pay less for a commodity, people are ready to pay more for a product. I talk about my school SKC. People, is SKC a commodity or a product? The answer is neither. There is neither a commodity nor a product. हाँ मुझे commodity बनना है, मुझे product बनना है. आपको ये message है, आपको commodity नहीं लेना है, आपको product नहीं बनना है. Whatever you are, go a little higher, or the higher thing. Now I go to the same tea. I take my minute and drive at night from here back home. And I stop. It's night 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock sometimes. I go from the airport back home. I stop at certain signals and I know there's no on the cycle. Every morning when I go to the airport, you open the tea chai shop. They have a cloth and they give this nice coffee or a tea. And then it's like that everybody chai and this you. They charge you 10 rupees now. Nowadays, every day and Amrut like 10 rupees for a cup of coffee or a tea or 20 for a coffee. You happily pay. Happily pay. That's because today it is not a commodity or a product. You go to a restaurant, you sit there, and then that waiter comes, he gives you a glass of water, and then you say, cup of chai though, or a coffee though. It costs 25 rupees to 40 rupees of tea or a coffee. And you pay 40 rupees happily for a coffee because of panka chal raha hai, or pani ka bottle, pani glass de diya, and he gives you clean the cup, you don't know what's the cup, he gives you instantly, and for that, you are ready to pay 40 rupees now. So पहले वाला जब commodity था आपने 1 रुपया दिया अब जब प्रोडक्ट बन गया घर पे बनाया आपने 5 या 6 रुपए डाला अब वो सर्विस है तो आप 25 से 40 रुपए भी देते हो 10 रुपए देते हो 40 रुपए देते हो because now it is not a commodity not a product now it is a service. So I ask people, what is SKC in my school? Is it a commodity or is it a product or a service? And I get an answer from my heart. It is neither a commodity nor a product, nor is it a service. A service may not know. No, sir, you miss it, never should get into that. And what am I? The next one is, let's go to Starbucks, a cafe coffee day. Cafe coffee day. And I go there, sit with my client or sit with my friend or sit in a group of friends and order for a cup of coffee. Cafe latte, cappuccino, as you call it. Big things say stuff. You got a nice art or an image there. It is generally coffee. And I will pay 160 rupees to 350 rupees, depending on stuff. Cafe coffee day, or it was Starbucks. You happily pay 250 rupees for a cup of coffee. Because now it is neither a commodity, nor a product, nor a service. In fact, go to the counter and get them one coffee. Service is because coffee day is an experience. Starbucks is an experience. You want to have the experience. You remember the experience. You're going to pay, 100 times more. एक 80 पैसे की चाय थी अब तुम 160 रुपए दे रहे हो क्योंकि it's an experience. I remember those shops that came before with the guitar hanging there, the coffee being brewed, you get the smell, aroma of the coffee. It only does you get up like a local restaurant, you sit there talking to people, an business discussion on a cup of coffee. So that's called as you experience. And the last one is what I am at. Of course, SKC is a wonderful experience. Every student in my school, every day when he goes home with an experience. We say it's an experiential learning school. Every concept in science or math is taught through an experience. That's how we have researched on. Every concept in science or math or grammar, every conceptual understanding is from an experience. So our tagline says an experiential learning school. SKC is an experience that you will never forget. And the last one is I want to have a meeting. Tomorrow, Mayur tells me that Bombay milte hain, let's have a meeting. Kahan milte hain? I tell him Bombay means let's meet nowhere. So I go to Verovatra, I get my car there. I give to a valet. The valet takes my car away. Then the guy who opens the door for me, I go to the coffee shop. I sit to somebody, escorts me to a table. And of course, Mayur comes and both of us have a business meeting. We order a cup of tea. It comes with a free plate of cookies. The coffee may not taste so much. But now, since I am used to I need to an office in Mumbai. Still, my car gets parked, somebody opens the door for me, somebody gives me a service, now I'm meeting for 2 hours, I'm able to pay 400 rupees for a cup of coffee because now it is a transformation. And once I get transformed, I will never go to commodity. Once transformation happens, you never go back to commodity. People who enroll themselves in our schools, now they say, mind transformed. I pray to Almighty, जरूर कोई हमारे आसपास आ जाए, कितने भी दिन में हो जाए, 5 मिनट, 10 मिनट, 1 घंटा. We should have something. We should be transformed. बोलना चाहिए मेरी जिंदगी बदल गई. मुझे तो introduced, in the beginning, I remember one man said, "Sir, ने बहुत सारे बच्चों का जिंदगी बदल दी है." In fact, what I wanted from Constitution Club last time, leader who changed lives. One of this man coming to me named Kutti, my strong fan. He stays in Mumbai. He travels to Vasai. And when I go, I have a meeting with him and I finish. I said, "Sir, kahan ja rahe ho?" I say, I'm going opposite direction. I used to go to Mumbai, I said, मैं दादर जा रहा हूँ. चलो सर मैं आता हूँ. I said, तुम दादर में कहाँ से मुंबई जाओगे? एक ही रास्ता है. So नहीं सर, आपके पास 1 घंटे एक्स्ट्रा मिलेगा चलेगा. He knows that 1 hour with me is going to transform me. So my prayer to my Lord is that nobody who comes in contact with me, business wise, like I say, I'm a trainer, I change lives. मेरा धर्म है जिंदगी बदली करना. So I should be able to influence and transform lives. आपका धंधा में जो भी रहेगा, you will transform your business. You must do a transformational experience that you should never go back to another customer, another service provider, and say because आप जो दे रहे हो कोई नहीं देगा. Blue ocean में transform and make your service such good. So I'm coming back to my first earlier, one of the first slides. It says the definition by Joel Barker, who is a leader. I've been a standardized version of the same. A leader is a person you choose to follow. A leader is a person you choose to follow to go to a place you are never going, you won't go by yourself. And I've been living this way. Find out who your leader is. You become the leader. Have people to choose to follow you. And take them to a place where you won't go to yourself. I, in this talk, have tried to live this statement in the entire talk. I hope I'm able to communicate. I was able to communicate really enough take home. So we need 11 slides. Let's go 11 slides back. Madam. Don't get rid of competition. Yes, I'll just repeat quickly. सबसे पहला मैंने बताया take home में should make your product, make your business competition less. Get into blue ocean. Don't get into the red war. Blue ocean. Remember the story? Become a business. Business. The next one is stop thinking, keep moving.
Then your voice is not audible.
So,
Yeah. So last two slides you explained the voice is not audible. Blue ocean.
just a minute. Thank you, Mayur, for the hello.
Yeah.
Abhi, now it's clear.
Yeah. Now it's clear.
Thank you so much. So I go back to the take home, right? Mayur bhai, so much. Thank you so much for being so attentive and so prompt. And okay, so my first take home is get rid of competition. Get into the competition-less world. Get into the blue ocean strategy. I have made my business into a blue ocean. Remember, Abdul, be the Abdul of your business. Be the Abdul of your business. Deliver to people something that nobody else offers. Have done so, be so, and 2030 will be on us. The next slide is don't walk, run, be fast. Speed is the keyword. Small problem नहीं है. Fast नहीं होना problem है. Next. It is by Charles Darwin. Strongest होना या इंटरनेट होना not necessarily कि आपको 2030 में आगे ले जाएगा. You have to be responsive to change. It is not the strongest of the species that survives or the most intelligent, but the one who is most responsive to change. Change बदलो या फिर निकलना होगा. Attempt to refuse to change. Come. Fear refuse to change. Come. Lifeboat refuse to change. Come. Either you become distant or बदलो या निकलो. The next one. The one thing that scares you. I have been here with one thing that scares me. The one thing that scares you. Don't do something that won't go down into this. Come on to the next week. Of friends, I say, Reimagining also says that. Next is invest everything in your business as you do in other things. Have you invested as much this year in your business development as you invest in other development? Invest enough time in your business development. Stop being a CEO. Become the chief distribution officer, as told by Tom Peters in his book, The Circle of Innovation. be tech savvy, embrace technology. Technology is the next keyword. You have to be techno savvy. Be a global citizen. Global awareness and start making, international collaborations. If we imagine everything about business, everything about every sector, achieve the we imagine everything about the business. Let's learn from Ron Kaufman. Let's rise from basic to being unbelievable. Let's deliver surprising things to our clients. Let's deliver incredible things to our customers. Let's listen. Let's hear from Ron Kaufman. Customer service. 2030 आपका होगा. As I told you, get 5 levels of value proposition. Stop being a commodity. Stop being a product. Service बढ़िया दो. Let's give people an experience that they don't forget, that they can never forget. And let's transform people. Let's put up in such a way which is, transforming lives. And be a leader. Some people will choose to follow to go to a place where they won't go by themselves. That's what I lived in my talk. And the last slide says, thank you. Before I open my floor for questions from many of you, this is my number. It says, WhatsApp messages only. WhatsApp messages only. So कभी भी मुझसे contact करना होगा. Either you want a business consultation meeting or you want to transform your business, then this is the number. You need to message. Somebody from the office will get back to you, and then we can fix up an appointment and we can have a chat. Now I open the floor to questions. तभी शायद अगर आप पूछोगे तो cost लग जाएगा. But अगला 15 minutes, there's no cost for any questions. So 15 minutes, you can ask me any question related to talk or not. I'll try and answer them now. Here we go.
Yes, if anyone has a question, they can write on the chat box or question answer.
I can't see the chat box. You read, I can answer them.
Yeah. So far there are no
हिंदी भी
questions.
चलेगा. किसी को कोई हिंदी में सवाल पूछना तो भी चलेगा. I will try and
Raise your
answer.
hand, ask them to
So
raise
the question has come. Stanny, first question has come. Will not destruction destroy values?
Please repeat.
Will not destruction destroy values?
Yeah. बहुत बढ़िया सवाल. किसने किया ये?
It's by Murli
Bodapati.
Bodapati.
Murli bhai, you've been very, very, I want to really clap hands for this wonderful question. Will destruction destroy values? अगर आप चाहते हो तो destroy कर देगा. That depends how integral you are. Now we all have a value system. I have my own value system. It says this value I value more, and this is my value chain. This is the thing. And it's very clear to me. It's part of my vision, part of my mission. And it's very clear to everybody in the organization. So whenever we take any decision, it is based on the value system that we have. So we have to be very careful. Whenever we reimagine, we are done. We take care that we stick to our value system that we have chosen to follow. So, आपको भी ये करना होगा. आपका value system क्या ये कुछ नहीं आता है. So, this is my answer. अगर आप चाहते हो तो definitely destruction में सब कुछ destroy हो सकता है. But अगर if you wish and you choose not to destroy value तो नहीं होगा. Maybe I have answered that.
Yeah. So one has to be careful. Destruction means constructive destruction. It should be, and not everything and anything. The good things definitely should continue and promote it rather than destroying.
Correct. So,
And,
I don't say that destroy ma khatam karna hai. I say that let's reimagine things and start doing another way which is more 2030 oriented.
Mr. Praveen Shinde is asking, is age-old concept of SWOT analysis still valid?
Yes, it's very much.
Please comment.
Please comment.
Very much. I was just to buy this project at Igatpuri. And in fact, I was searching for a place. My son just got admitted in MBBS. And I promised him the day I get admission in MBBS, get a maybe on where your seat, I'll buy a campus for you so that you can make your own medical college. So we had a few options. And then the decision to buy the land at Igatpuri, the campus at Igatpuri, came strongly out of a SWOT analysis that we did. And it was in tune with our business that we are already into. We call it Jan Seva. And of course, all the decisions that came, it was a big investment driven, which was a capex driven industry for us. We took based on SWOT analysis. And I think it will remain relevant for quite some time. I mean, for time in memorial. Murli bhai, आपको कुछ इसमें, do you feel that in any relevant नहीं है ये?
No, nothing new. No more questions. Yeah. No, that's all.
आवाज नहीं आ रही।
नहीं और कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है।
Mayur bhai, any can you? I can't see the.
No, there aren't any more questions.
Sorry, there are no more questions.
No more
Stanny.
questions.
Okay. I think I've covered in time. It's 8:11. We have 4 more minutes to go. So, in fact, there's a topic that I conduct in either half-day module or a full-day module. I've done this, squeezed it into a 2-hour module. I hope I've done justice to the topic. And Mayur bhai, I would wait for comments from you on this 2 hours. To get you in the audience is my privilege, my honor. But you have always been an inspiration to me, Mayur bhai.
Thank you, Stanny, and sorry for not making in person. I had to attend other meeting also online simultaneously. Not after you started, before you started actually, and then I left that meeting and joined your meeting here. Friends, it has been very enriching experience. Stanny talked about experience. This is what I know about Stanny. And if you ever visit to his campus or any of his function, that experience you will never forget in your life. And that's what Stanny is known for, making people experience good things in life and in a style. I know Stanny, and he's diehard patriotic. In fact, he has changed his surname and added Bhartiya, and he's doing a lot of work for the nation building as well. Of course, being a teacher, being a professor, teaching is his passion, and he's inculcating values in children, and thereby is already doing society building and making them a better citizen, and thereby, he's doing a nation building. In fact, he's been teaching even politicians, behavioral classes he takes for them. And what today Stanny discuss is just a tip on the iceberg from the wealth of the knowledge he has. I know Stanny can take up 7 days course without interruption or without any break also. That much, the wealth of knowledge and he has to share with all of us. We are indeed grateful, Stanny, for taking pains. In fact, today I was looking at the attendance. We had a very good attendance online, though people were more than 40 people in the study circle meeting is considered as good attendance. And I must thank Gracie. In fact, she is taking a lot of pains in organizing this meeting, traveling all the way from Dombivli for the meeting, and putting things together. Thank you, Gracie. The committee is ever indebted to you. Of course, you are part of the committee, but still you are taking extra efforts in bringing best of the speakers. I may be biased in my view because Stanny is a very good friend of mine, but honestly, objectively, he did well-deserved justice to the topic. Thank you very much, Stanny. Over to you, Gracie.
Thank you, Mayur bhai.